Well, I got Epstein home and transferred into the LSU Hive. And here's how that went. I really had no idea what to expect when I opened Epstein because he had been at my friend's house for way too long. This swarm was caught, oh man, I'd have to go back and look, but well over a month. I think probably 2 months ago. And we had so many things happening here at AldermanFarms with me getting gored by one of the guinea hogs on my leg, and then Patty and I both had COVID. Thankfully recovered from that. We had a light case, we were blessed, but I really had no idea what to expect. And so when I got into Epstein, I was very pleased to find quite a bit of brood. And a lot of bees. Now, this video was shot in the middle of the day, so most of the foragers were out of the swarm trap, out foraging. Right there. So I was really pleased with the population of bees. I really had expected to find queen cells or old queen cells, indicating that there had been a swarm, but I didn't find any. I did find a little patch of drone brood, but no queen cells, either new ones or old ones at all. So my guess would be that they hadn't swarmed. Lots of bees, some really beautiful brood pattern. The one thing I didn't find as much of, and I guess it really shouldn't be a terrible surprise this time of the year, it's already in mid-September, was that they didn't have a ton of honey. And you will see a little bit later, you'll notice, now see that one's got a nice, beautiful brood pattern covered by all the bees, and then a strip of honey, a pretty wide strip of honey across the top. But there was a frame, I think it was the very last frame I pulled out, where it looked like there had been honey that had been consumed. So even though I don't show it on this video, I did go out yesterday and provide them with some syrup, because I really want this hive to do well. I also did something different. Of course, you may have noticed or remembered that I was moving the LSU hive. It had been out in the pasture, and I brought it up closer to the house. And I set each of the four legs inside of an old coffee can, and then poured that coffee can about half full of vegetable oils to prevent any crawling insects to have access. Because one time when the LSU hive was out in the pasture, I cracked it open and there were huge black ants everywhere. It didn't seem to be bothering anything, and then I've also seen regular ants in the hive before. So hopefully that will prevent any crawling insects be able to get up into the hive because of the barrier. This is an interesting frame. I don't know what that's about, but it's honey at the bottom, and then up at the top they got that giant hole. I think that's the last frame too. So I missed the one I was telling you about where it looked like they were eating the honey. Also, I don't know if I'm doing the right thing here. I'm reversing the order of the frames in the hive to make sure that the most brood is closer to the entrance, because I'm using the entrance on the left side of the LSU hive. So I'm reversing the order and turning them around, which hopefully will mimic the placement coming out of the swarm trap with the brood close to the entrance. I don't know, we'll see. I didn't know whether to bang that to bang the box on top of the hive or not. You'll see here that I'm really not happy about the number of bees coming out just shaking it, so I finally do decide to go ahead and bump it. And most of them came out, but there were still some down in the corners. I discovered later that what they were holding some hive beetles at bay. There was a large number of hive beetles in the swarm trap, but no damage because there was enough bees to keep them at bay. Now here's what this is: a propolis collection screen that's designed to go on the top, across the top of the frames, but because of the design of the horizontal hive where the bees don't travel up between the frames, all the frames touch each other, then an alternate way to do it is to replace a divider board with this propolis collector screen this time of year when it's starting to get a little cooler, and the bees will fill up all those cracks in there, and then I can take that out next spring. It'll be filled with propolis. I don't know how soon, but for the bees to close up the drafts, and then I can take that out of there next spring, put it in the freezer for a day or so just to make the stuff brittle, and then all I have to do is twist it basically, and all that propolis will pop out, and I'll have some propolis to sell. Ideally, that's the plan anyway. So I left Epstein laying there for a couple of days, and eventually every single bee was left out of Epstein and gone pecan. It was fun to watch them buzzing. And then I went out this morning and was very tickled to see just so much activity at the entrance to the hive, and look at the pollen going in. There was just pollen carrier after pollen carrier filing into the hive. So that's a good sign. I'm very hopeful and thankful to Epstein. Epstein will be put away, and then he won't hang himself again sometime in the spring.